Live and Live. Buy original, be original. SON.
Nigerian Youth in Focus, as the Standards Organization of Nigeria sensitizes youths to be quality conscious to promote standardization. University authority is advised to make standardization topics as project works. Details of these and other stories shortly, but that will be after this message. My name is Ifoma Okonkwo. Thanks for joining us on the program.
Standards Organization of Nigeria (SON) brings a new lease of life to Nigerian SMEs. SON has put a greater premium on developing standards aimed at improving the exports of the nation's food and cash crops. This explains why we have developed more standards for Nigeria's produce like sesame, cocoa, garri, and more, courtesy our accredited state-of-the-art laboratories. In keeping with the federal government's ease of doing business, SON has simplified its processes and turnaround time for SUNCAP and MANCAP to reduce substandard products and legal arm to prosecute offenders. Join Standards Organization of Nigeria in ridding our nation of substandard goods due to consistent market surveillance and raids. See something, say something. Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving life through standards.
Resist the temptation of compromising on quality and embrace standardization. Director General of the Standards Organization of Nigeria urges youths in the country. This was the thrust of the DG's message presented at a sensitization on standards organized for Batch A of the National Youth Service Corps, Iyanokpaja in Lagos.
These are core members of Batch A of the National Youth Service Corps, Iyanokpaja, Lagos. All over the world, youths are an integral part of society because they constitute a significant part of a nation's productive population. This sensitization by officials of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, led by the DG's representative, is part of the agency's focus to promote standardization and quality assurance among young people.
Some of you will go out now from this camp, and maybe from all you have learned here, you have in mind one thing or the other you want to start when you go out, while waiting for a job. So when you're going out from here, we want you to bear one thing in mind. This thing I want to start, I want to go and explore and see what standard has been developed about it, about the raw materials I'm going to use. Because when you even get the one that will guide you to choose the perfect raw material, it means that you are going to get the best output. When you do it right from the onset, you are sure of getting the right output.
The DG wants youths to imbibe the culture of doing it right and never compromise on quality.
You find out that in some organizations, they will produce a lot of products, and in 1 week or so, there will be a lot of returns. That whole batch will be destroyed. That they are losing money. But if they are doing it right and following the process as standard we want them to do, testing during the process, they will know if it's going wrong, they will correct it. They will carry out corrective action before it will go late. There is also standards for system management. Even in services, you have international standards which are called ISO. You have ISO quality, which is ISO 9001, 2008, and now the newest, 2015, is reviewed every 5 years. You have ISO for environmental management, which is ISO 14001, 2015 now. You have even for safety in a workplace. So when you have all these standards built into a system, that system will last.
As young entrepreneurs, the SON Chief Executive believes that understanding the imperatives of standards is critical to the success of their businesses. He therefore urged the core members to acquaint themselves with basic knowledge on standardization. This knowledge-sharing exercise is part of measures by the Standards Organization of Nigeria to empower youths in the country with a view to engendering in them a positive mindset on issues of quality assurance and standardization.
You're still watching Standard and You, reaching you on the network service of the NTA. Include issues on standards and conformity assessment as topics of project for undergraduates. Director General of the SON enjoins Nigerian universities. He made this call in Benin, Edo State during a courtesy call to the Vice Chancellor of the University of Benin. Osita Aboloma was represented by Director of Standards of the agency, Chinyere Egon.
The Director General's appeal to university authorities in the country is aimed at promoting research in the field of standardization in Nigeria. Such topics around standards and quality assurance, he said, will expose undergraduates to modern trends on standardization as well as basic requirements for best practices in the production of goods and services.
Globally, standardization in education curriculum is becoming a current trend in view of its role as a tool for improving the development of every facet of life, either socially, economically, technologically, amongst others. So in this regard, SON is also working on the process for initiating the integration of standardization in the educational curriculum.
Aboloma believes that such exercise will deepen students' knowledge on standardization. This visit by the National Mirror Committee on African Traditional Medicine, ATM, was ahead of a two-day meeting by the Committee on 12 Draft Medicinal Plant Standards initiated by Nigeria.
What benefits will accrue to Nigeria by this activity that we are carrying out here today? It is known that Nigerians are very involved in traditional medicine. We have a lot of practitioners in African traditional medicine, and they need standards to guide them in their activities, to make sure that they produce safely, and that they, at the end of the day, they have, using the standards, they'll be able to bring out quality products.
The standards are to be submitted to the African Organization for Standardization, ASO Technical Committee on African Traditional Medicine. The Director General commended the Vice Chancellor and management of UNIBEN for their support. Chairman of the Mirror Committee on African Traditional Medicine, Professor Maurice Iwu, said African standards adopted by Nigeria will be incorporated into the national pharmacopoeia for wider market access and exports.
It would greatly enhance internally generated revenue of various states who adopt the traditional medicine, in the sense that it will become an aspect of healthcare. And talking about healthcare, people who are sick will then have some alternative method of healing themselves other than relying on orthodox medicine.
The Vice Chancellor of UNIBEN, represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, emphasized the need to promote standardization in Nigeria's educational system and traditional medicine. He pledged the university's support to the SON and Committee on Areas of Standardization that may require the intervention of the university.
We will be ready to partner with you in every way. My brother here, Ibe, we have known for a long time. I know that he has been doing a lot of cutting-edge research in traditional medicine application using scientific approach. Because gone are the days we used to just ignore our traditional healing approach. All they need is to be encouraged, and we apply science and technology into these approaches. And we know what happens in China and all other Asian countries. And so I'm happy Nigeria is waking up finally from a deep slumber.
Draft standards discussed at the meeting included baobab, bitter almond, zobo, efiri, cashew leaves, cashew seed nuts, cashew apple, African bush mango, ogbono, bitter leaf, bitter cola, and zogal.
Chinese people came here with their herbal medicine packaged in capsules in powdered and also in liquid form. And they organize Nigerians to market it in the form of network marketing. When we look at Nigeria, look at China, we have plants here. And unfortunately, they're in temperate region. The herbs they have there cannot work effectively with our own here that we are in tropical region. If we don't develop our country, the medicinal plants we have, nobody will develop them for us. And I'm a practitioner, I'm not a manufacturer. And I can see powerful things, these natural things we have. Do you know you have in the house? The cabbage you have there, the beetroot you have there, the tomato you have there. These do powerful things that if I relate, you say oh, it's not true. But that is true. It's the knowledge of knowing how to use it that matters.
What is Nigeria Pharmacopoeia? A book talking of the medicinal plants that every traditional doctor and every other person that is a researcher discover in Nigeria, which are used as medicine, provable as curative to different sickness, which the world must search for.
The African Traditional Medicine Committee currently comprises of experts from 28 organizations from the academia, research institutes, regulatory agencies, professional association in healthcare delivery, and the private sector.
Everything must have a procedure that at the end of the procedure, a quality product will come out. If you look before now, we don't have our local medicine in the shop that's contending with that of the orthodox medicine. And so it is for SON to now come in and formulate standards for all this medicine, and so that it will be internationally accepted, acclaimed. So that is why SON is into drawing standard for traditional medicine.
Muna fata shekaru na da za su zo, mutanen mu za su yi la'akari da aikin da muke yi, kuma za su lura cewa ya fi cancanta ka sai abu na kwarai da ka sai abu na arha.
Ka yi mezie n'obodo anyị a, ka yi mee ka ihe a na-eme n'obodo anyị a, ma ihe a na-ebubata n'obodo anyị a ọ dị mma. Anyị na-ayọ biko ka anyị jikọọ aka, na asị na ofu aka adịghị ekechi ngwugwu. Ka anyị jikọọ aka ka Nigeria wee wọrọ anyị obodo.
Ẹ jẹ́ ká lajú wálẹ̀ gbogbo tá a bá máa fún wàrà ká lè pé o tó pé ojú òṣùwọ̀n. Èyí tí ò bá yé wa àgbẹ̀ tó bá mọ̀ ń pẹ̀ ẹ̀ tó wà sọ́nà. Èyí tá a bá dẹ̀ rà tí ò bá pójú òṣùwọ̀n ẹ lọ sí standard organization iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ tó bá súnmọ́ yín jù ẹ lọ ṣàlàyé fún wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n á ràn yín lọ́wọ́.
Welcome to the world of standard and quality, where we offer you information on product safety and quality. The program is Standard and You.
Choose life and live. Buy original. Be original. SON.
Nice to have you join us. You're still watching Standard and You, Nigeria's only platform on television where you get to know more about product quality and safety. It comes to you on this station Mondays at 6:30 p.m. Standards Organization of Nigeria demonstrates commitment towards sustaining universal salt iodization for complete eradication of iodine deficiency disorder in Nigeria. Director General of the Standards Organization of Nigeria gave this indication at the first meeting of the Task Force for Universal Salt Iodization and Iodine Deficiency Orders meeting in Lagos.
These are representatives of the Federal Ministry of Education, Budget and National Planning, Health, NAFDAC, SON, UNICEF, CPC, NASCON, Promasido, Royal Salt, FIRU, and National Primary Healthcare Development Agency. The focus of the meeting was, among others, review reports of the monitoring of salt iodization at the factory level, distribution, retail and household levels. The meeting also examined challenges and sustainability of salt iodization and food fortification in Nigeria. Represented by a director in his office, Kabiru Mohammed, SON's Director General, restated the agency's commitment towards achieving iodized salt in Nigeria.
The goal of the task force is to sustain the 98% salt iodization level achieved by Nigeria, and its main objective is to ensure that the institutionalized monitoring is being carried out by the relevant agencies, namely SON, NAFDAC, the Federal Ministry of Education, the Primary Healthcare Development Authority, and the CPC. Furthermore, to determine the current level of compliance at factory, distributors, retailers, and household levels to Nigerian industrial standards on iodized salt by the salt manufacturers. Also, to produce consolidated report for monitoring at all levels for 2017. It is pertinent to recall that the IGD-USI task force was established to coordinate the implementation and sustenance of salt iodization in Nigeria. And the task force comprises of relevant stakeholders, which includes salt producers, MDAs, NGOs, and development partners, as well as the media. Salt iodization has been one of the strategies adopted to control and eliminate iodine deficiency disorder in Nigeria.
He described the success recorded by the country in this regard as commendable, adding that a lot still needs to be done to tackle iodized deficiency disorders in the society. He praised the collective and concerted efforts of the various stakeholders, task force, and the federal government at controlling and eliminating iodine deficiency disorders.
Most of the issues that the task force have to discuss today were extensively also dealt with in those labs with various investors in the sectors meeting us, and we were also talking to the lab provided opportunity for investors in various sectors of the economy to talk to the ministers. In most cases, when you write letters to government, it has to move from one ministry to another ministry, or before you can say ministers, you have to move from one ministry to another ministry. But the lab provided an opportunity for you, for investors to meet the ministers in one place. We brought ministers to the lab to meet investors in various sectors, and some of the issues that we want to tackle here were also discussed at those labs. That is not to say that today's meeting is not important. It's still very important, because some of the issues are now, we will now listen to it, to them from the operators in the industry. We want to thank GAIN for being with us mostly in terms of capacity building, monitoring and evaluation for both government and at the industry level. We also want to thank all of you that you've been actively involved in this secretariat, in the task force, and you make contribution. We believe that part of the deliberations at this meeting will be taken up again with government agencies to ensure that the ambitious 98% iodization will be achieved in a couple of years. Nigeria is really taking a lead in most of the sub-Saharan Africa in terms of food fortification, especially the 3 vehicles, in terms of food fortification. And I think if we continue this way, a lot of achievements will also go down into the records.
It is therefore pertinent to continue to robustly address the challenges of micronutrient deficiency, hidden hunger in our population, with particular reference here to salt iodization within the USI IDD task force. I wish to state the agency's readiness to meet her assigned role within the task force, which is annual monitoring of compliance with the mandatory fortification of edible salts at distribution and retail levels. I would like to sincerely appreciate and commend the efforts of the USI IDD task force members as we jointly strive to reverse the decline in the USI compliance across the nation.
GAIN is interested in building partnership to improve nutrition globally, and in Nigeria We are proud to be a member of the Universal Salt Iodization Task Force in Nigeria. In the year 2017, in a renewed project called Strengthening African Processors of Fortified Food, SAPFF, GAIN and TechnoServe, with funding from Bill and Melinda Gates, have a renewed approach to food fortification in Nigeria, including salt iodization. And the objective of the project is to shift a focus from the old approach of using the sticks to actually working with the industries to identify area of challenges they may have in adequately fortifying food products. And we think this meeting is strategic to addressing that, because this is a public-private partnership that have industry representative here, and it's also a forum for us to bring up issues and address some of the challenges that industries may be facing in salt iodization efforts.
He added that the SON, through constant monitoring of operators in the nation's food industry, will ensure strict compliance.
The Akarigbo of Remo Land, His Royal Majesty Babatunde Adewale Ajayi, has commended the Standards Organization of Nigeria for its effort at sanitizing the markets in the country. This, he said, is apart from the agency's continued support to small business in Ogun State, which he noted has led to establishment of more businesses in Remo Land. The Royal Father gave this commendation when officials of the Ogun State 2 of the SON paid him a courtesy visit in his palace. Oba Adewale Ajayi praised the foresight of the present leadership of the agency, adding that it will continue to support the SON in its fight against fake and substandard products in Nigeria.
Wow, Chief Mike, how are you? Fine. I'm going to Sun office for the certification of my wheat flour. Oh no, things have changed. Sun has simplified all its activities. You could have even stayed back in Kano and process all your papers online. Whoa.
With the efforts of Sun, the products of SMEs can now compete globally. Sun has put in place necessary machineries in support of the growth of SMEs. At highly subsidized charges, SMEs can now get their certification, laboratory testing of their products, as well as purchase of standards. Meanwhile, Sun is carrying out massive seizure of substandard goods in the market and have gotten legal backing to prosecute offenders, all to protect consumers and SMEs. Sun, improving life through standards.
Welcome back. It's time to treat your messages. For those of you who have taken time to write us, we appreciate you very much. I'd like to let you know that the information you have provided have been very useful to us. Thank you, and please don't stop writing us. Our first message is from West Okobosun from Rivers State. He says, I so love your job. If you can extend the service to the mobile phone sellers who remove memory card, earphones, and sell them to consumers separately. Wow, it's amazing, really amazing the extent some businessmen will go to shortchange others. Thank you for this information. I would like to let you know that the SON is already investigating this development. Our next message is from Abiodun Adedeji, a distributor of Portland Paints in Ibadan. It says, I watched your program on NTA Network. Would appreciate if your organization could help to beam your searchlight on substandard products in paint industries. Thank you, Abiodun. We would appreciate if you tell us what you have discovered lately in the industry to guide us. However, our searchlight is on the industry and we'll do everything to clean up the market if we have any need to do so. Ezekiel Johnson from Port Harcourt says, Dear SON management, fake gas cylinder are spread all over the 36 states of Nigeria and other substandard numerous products. What are your stake? Thank you, Ezekiel. If you've been monitoring our activities in the last 6 months, you will know that we have done and are still doing a lot to check the distribution of substandard LPG cylinder and other fake products. So, be rest assured that we are not giving up. Our next message is from Felix from Delta State. It says, I watched your program. I'm a land agent. How can I get to be standardized? Please come to Delta State. Thank you for writing us. If you want to know everything about standardization, visit our office in Delta State. It's located at number 19, High Court Road, Okpanam Road, Asaba, Delta State. Our last message is from someone who has decided to remain anonymous. It says, good day. How long can we use our gas cylinder? And does it expire? And how can I know an original in the market? Thank you, but you did not give us your name. The cylinder is expected to be checked every 5 years, then another 5 years for leakage to avoid any accident. To identify an original gas cylinder, check the date of manufacture and ascertain with a qualified professional the state of the product before purchase, or visit any of the SON offices near you for professional advice. For any information, call us or send in your messages to the number 07059724455. Follow us on Facebook at Standard and New, Instagram and Twitter at standardandnew_. You can also send a mail to us, thestandardandnew@gmail.com. Watch any of our episodes online at youtube.com/standardandnew. Feel free to view, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. That's the size of our program this week. I hope you enjoyed the program. See you next week for another exciting edition of the program. Bye.